All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. Hey, good morning to the Choppers. Viva la Choppers. Good morning to the people on Facebook and also on YouTube. Good morning to you. We're going to get the show started in about 90 seconds, but I want to give you a second to please like and share today's show. Among other things, a shocking video that's gone viral of what is being reported. Allegedly, an ex-cop pulled a gun on a man who met him to return his phone. This is a white male. You can see him in today's cover art. Allegedly, he is an ex-police officer. This is based out of San Antonio. I'm still searching for the details, but I think the circumstances are very, very shocking. And it speaks to the arrogance and also some of the threats that are on the streets of this country. It is amazing. Also, more information is coming in about the upcoming election. And I have to ask the question, is the GOP, is the Republican Party, locally here in Hamilton County, nationally across the country, on the verge of a big loss? And if they are, in my opinion, there's only one person to blame. I'll tell you who, plus a smattering of other topics that matter to people that live in the greater Cincinnati area in particular, but Black people all over the country. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal. This is Cincinnati's first daily digital talk show that focuses on the Black community, and we'll get started in about 60 seconds.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent. You're listening to The Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
All right, good morning, everybody. Please take a second to like and share today's show. I know we're getting started a little bit later than normal. My apologies on that. Good morning to you. It is an absolutely beautiful, but very, very kind of frigid, kind of cold kind of day. My kind of day in beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. Good morning. Hopefully, wherever you are in the world, you're doing well. Hey, welcome back to my home studio, Nate Ivey. Glad to see you. Hey, listen, I got to do some business here. Let me share today's show. Let's do it together, shall we? It's very, very important that we share today's show. I mean, quite frankly, when you share the show, more people see it. That's how it works. When you share the show, more people see it. It means everything. Let's make sure that we spread the gospel of common sense this morning, shall we? Because, damn it, there ain't a whole lot of it left. Yeah, here we go. And if you see that somebody had already shared it, my policy is, and the way I look at it, my philosophy is it don't matter. Share it again. Your shares mean everything. Good morning to you. Is the GOP in trouble? I think that they are. Some of the most recent poll numbers suggest that they may have some issues, especially here in Hamilton County and a lot of battleground states as well. Hey, good morning to you, Cleopatra. Appreciate you. All the folks that are sharing the show this morning, I appreciate you. It means everything. Let me see. Give me 1 second here. I got to take the opportunity to share the show. Cincinnati's first daily digital talk show that focuses on the Black community. Yeah, we talk about Black people, Black politics, and Black pleasure. Most certainly. Good morning to you. Yeah. Please share. Please share. It means everything. And again, people help this show in the growth of what we're doing here, the mission, in multiple ways. Some people are patrons. I appreciate all my patrons. Another month of support as we get started here in October. Some people, share the show. I mean, that's huge. It means a whole lot. There are people that help out with tips on guests. We got the Friends Like the Nathan Ivey Show page where people are populating that page on a daily basis. I go there every single day. And it keeps me up to date on everything. I can't see everything I post there as well. It's a closed Facebook group, but you're more than welcome to join. Hey, good morning to you. First, let me say that yesterday was a good day overall. It was a good day for Cincinnati digital media. Yesterday was a good day in terms of the mission of building independent media in the city of Cincinnati, because yesterday we introduced 2 new shows. Of course, at 1 p.m., it was Ask Ashley. Everybody knows her. A lot of folks know her. If you don't know her, you should get to know her on Facebook. And she's the host of 2 shows. One is called Monday Night Juice, and the other is Midday Juice. Midday Juice, and I think that was the first show that sort of brought her to my attention, is just her asking or answering questions from the audience. And the show is typically anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes long. She does it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And she takes direct questions from the audience. I think it's very, very interesting. And she's got a real style and talent. And hopefully you got a chance to see that. If you missed it, it's up on CDM's page right now, our Facebook page, and you can check it out and like and share it. Shout out to Ask Ashley. I thought it was a strong start. And then, of course, yesterday evening, we had the Valet Service podcast with Fast Pitch. And, I thought it was a great start to the show. Her guest, Black Rambo, these things happen. Sometimes people confirm and then for whatever reason don't come through. But we'll circle back around and see if we can get the brother on. It seems like he has a very interesting story. And then, of course, the people that got a chance to watch it, I thought it was off to a really strong start. And as it was ending, she had some issues with her camera. Now, when you're in the digital space, I mean, I'm remotely producing from my home studio, and the talented folks I'm working with are typically in their homes or wherever they're doing the stream from. There's only so much you can control, but I know she was not happy about it. We conversed afterward, and she wishes everybody a lot of thanks for checking out the show and appreciate you as well. Black females, Black voices matter. I'll say it again. Black female voices matter. They matter. They matter to us here at CDM. Good morning to you. That's just the beginning. Now, of course, valet service can be watched on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. right here on Facebook. on CDM, that's Digital Media's page. Appreciate it. Again, thanks for sharing the show. I appreciate it. For all the folks that shared the show so far, I appreciate it very, very much. Appreciate it. It means everything. So let me add a couple of caveats to this shocking video I'm going to show for you. What's being reported is that this white male here is an ex-police officer. I can't confirm that. This is what's just being reported out here, and you know how these videos are. But I thought it was just interesting. It just speaks to just the crazy times that we live in, because from what I gather in the video, he lost his cell phone. Anybody ever lost a cell phone before? Maybe you thought somebody stole your phone. It is like, it's right up there with losing your wallet with your ID. I think losing your wallet with your ID is worse, but I mean, they're neck and neck. I don't know which is worse. It's terrible. It's the worst feeling in the world, because so much of our daily lives, and also it's kind of deeper than losing your wallet, because if you lose your wallet, yeah, somebody gets your ID, they can steal your identity. If you lose your phone, then you're losing your identity as well. Like, if you have somebody's phone, like, essentially, how many people ever lost a cell phone before? Did you recover it? I'd like to know. I don't know which is worse, losing your phone or losing your wallet. Which is worse? Because they're very similar. Like, if somebody gets your ID, they can perpetrate frauds, and hopefully you're smart enough not to be one of those people that's got your social security number on your ID, right? Hopefully, because you don't have to do that. Why would you do that? I don't know. I mean, if I had a choice between losing my wallet and losing my phone, I'll be honest with you. I would almost rather lose my wallet, because in my wallet right now, and I checked this morning, I got my wallet right here. And, my wallet is older. Got an older wallet. It's all beat up because I don't really use it that much. I got a little bit of money in here. I got I don't know. So it's like $40-something. I keep a little cash on me at all times. And I've got a debit card, which everybody has. And then I've got my driver's license. And I think the most valuable thing in here is, and I got some money, some quarters and dimes and nickels and stuff like that for, I guess, I don't know what the hell I'm thinking of. But look at this thing. What am I thinking of? I need to step it up. And I have a new one. I got a brand new wallet, but I don't know. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? And I leave the house sometime. My wallet's not with me. I'll admit to you, it happens from time to time. I'm driving around the street of Cincinnati without an ID. Ooh, I know it's illegal and it's the worst thing in the world, but it happens from time to time. Trying to think, I mean, between these two things right here, which is more important to me? I kind of want to say this is, because with this, I pay my bills. With this, I can make purchases. With this, it's got all my contacts in here to all the people that I care about, my family, my friends, my business connects. With this, I connect with the world on social media, right? I do so much business on this, right? I even get creative with this, with different apps. I can do all kinds of different stuff. It's got my ID in it. Other than that, everything else in here, I don't want to lose these $42 because I plan on spending it. And I don't want to lose my bank card because it's just a pain in the you-know-what, right? You got to stop the bank card, and then they send your bank card back, and then I'm worried about whether the money's going to transfer earlier, and then I got to go back in once I get the new account code, and I got to, some things just come out automatically, right? So I got to go back in and remember what it is and then change it over. It's just a pain in the you-know-what, right? But I think losing my phone in the short term and the long term, plus I got all kind of stuff on here, me and the wifey, nobody need to see all of that. Yeah, I think this is worse than losing your phone. So I can understand how, if you think somebody stole your wallet, you're going to be irate. In the video I'm about to play for you, it's very, very short. This dude is on one about losing his wallet. Losing his phone. And I get it. And he accuses the young man, or the man who returned his wallet. He accuses him of stealing the wallet. And I'm like, where they do that at? You steal the wallet and then you go meet up with somebody and give it back to him? People that steal wallets don't do that. You ever stole a wallet before? Did you return it? You probably didn't return it, because people that steal wallets don't return it. Why would you do that? Why would you even put yourself in that situation? You just don't do that. You just don't do it. But I want to play this for you. Allegedly, this is an ex-police officer. So he's using some of his police officer, skills. And he just goes super nuts about this guy or on this guy. He just goes super nuts on this guy about losing his wallet. All right, you ready for this? Let's rotate.
Put your hands up.
No. Get your fucking hands off me, dude.
The fuck
What are you doing, man?
Huh?
What are you gonna do? Shoot me?
I tell you what I'm
You're
gonna
gonna fucking
do.
shoot me, asshole?
You stole
Okay. My apologies. I should have told you that this is unedited and there is some extreme language. So I'll wait a couple of minutes. What is it? 8:07. I know your kids might be around. Oops, my bad. My apologies. I'll give you a minute. You might even be at work right now. I'll give you a minute. We're going to play this. It's about 2 minutes and 20 seconds long. Okay. I'm not going to start it over again because you already heard what you already heard. So, all right. I'm going to give you a couple seconds more. And now we're going to play it.
I didn't steal shit. She dropped it on the fucking floor.
Oh,
I
no,
was
I
gonna
didn't
start her
stop
out
you did it.
because I was gonna give it back. I texted her, man. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing, bro?
Motherfucker, get on the ground now.
What are you doing?
Get on the ground. Get on the fucking ground. You think I'm playing?
Oh,
Like what the fuck?
I thought it was my phone. What the fuck are
Get
you
on
doing?
the goddamn ground.
For what?
Because you stole a phone.
No, I
bastard.
didn't. I
Yeah,
found it
you
on the
did.
road, and
No,
I
you
texted
didn't.
her that I was gonna give it
No,
back.
you didn't give it back.
How do you know?
Dude, I am gonna whoop your ass.
Why? Why?
Because I am the
down.
law. That's why.
Get
He's
down,
Judge Dredd.
Motherfucker.
Get
You're
down.
making a mistake, dude.
Get down. Oh,
You motherfucker. Ah. Ah. What the fuck is wrong with you, bitch? You gonna shoot me? Why? I found it on the floor.
no, you did.
I texted her. I texted her. I said I was gonna get back to her, bro.
Oh,
You
it's
made a
deep.
mistake.
It's deep.
Yes, you are, dude.
I mean, that's pretty much the gist of him. Again, apologies for the cursing. I try to minimize that as much as possible. And I did just give you a heads up after I didn't give you a heads up. But I don't know, man. To me, it just seems like the world is so crazy now. Everybody's on edge. Yesterday, we talked about a white woman up in Cologne, Ohio, who I guess she thought she was Sherlock Holmes. And she was going to deduce that this black man was buying groceries legally and then going to steal an SUV out of the grocery store parking lot, which makes no sense whatsoever. Like, why would you do that? If you're going to steal anything that day, you would steal a vehicle, and then it just doesn't make any sense. It made no sense. And then it just makes no sense for somebody to steal a cell phone and then return it. Now, the only way it makes sense, maybe the logic is that they're trying to get some kind of reward or something like that, but who does that? See, this will make people not return-ish right here. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I've told you before, you can take it the way you want to take it. If God wants to give you money in the form of you found it, that's one thing. Phones, I found a few phones. I've always returned them. I've always returned them because I just know how difficult it is to be in that situation where you lose your phone. It's like you lose your whole life. And then how many people have numbers memorized? How many numbers do you have memorized? Like, I've only got my brain only has enough capacity right now for 2 phone numbers. I know my wife's number and I know my mama's number. I don't even know my brother's and sister's number. Little Buddha, my medium Buddha, my daughter, I don't even remember her number. I remember my wife's number. I remember my mama's number. I guess that means I'm a good son and husband. But other than that, I don't remember anybody's numbers. And there's people I talk to more than I talk to family members. I don't remember these numbers. They're just in my phone. Something tells me these phones are making us less sharp. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a time when you had to remember stuff, but now I don't have to. I don't even have to remember meetings now because I can put them in my phone and then Gmail will remind me. Like that morning, I'll get a little jingle. Doon, doon, doo, 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 doo. Oh, okay. Oh, I have a meeting today. Cool. I forgot. I think this technology is making us less sharp, not more sharp. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. Again, I cannot confirm whether that is actually an ex-police officer. I cannot confirm that. I can confirm that there was a man down in Texas. There's a police officer down in Texas who's now being charged with the death of a black man who everybody says was a stand-up black dude. Apparently, from what I'm reading after the fact, he was one of these black dudes who's running around here making excuses and apologizing for police and all this kind of stuff. And now a police officer down in Texas, his name is Sean Lucas, has been charged with the death of Jonathan Price. You know, this guy was in his early 30s, 30, 31. And apparently he was trying to break up an altercation. Police rolled up. Sean Price walks away. He gets tasered and then shot. I saw an image of the officer that was arrested. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I hate to judge a book by its cover, but when I saw the image of this dude, I'm thinking Charleston. Let me put the image of this man up on the screen. It's wrong to stereotype. When black people get stereotyped, we don't like it. It's wrong. It is so wrong. But when I saw the image of this man, I'm just sorry. I just start seeing things. I start drawing conclusions. Like, it's wrong. You should never judge a book by its cover. Hey, family, I'm not here to tell you I'm right this morning. I'm dead wrong. That's Sean Lucas, Texas Ranger. Wasn't there a television show called Walker, Texas Ranger? Did he ever shoot unarmed people? It was played by, Chuck Norris? Yeah. Yes, I remember Chuck Norris, Walker, Texas Ranger. America loves these kind of cop shows, especially when they're headed by white men. They just love them. They eat them up. He was like 87 years old and whooping big ass down in Texas in that show. He was doing roundhouse kicks and all kind of karate stuff. 87. I couldn't watch the show because, after years and years and years of seeing that, I just got old to me. I just can't get into it. And then if I remember correctly, they were doing some stuff with his face and his beard. I'm like, it ain't working. That dude is like 87 years old. You can't be 87 and be a Texas Ranger. I don't believe it. I don't believe it anyway. So that's a really sad story. Then last night I saw that Tariq Nasheed put some information out on social media about the brother Sean Price. And apparently, he was out here, talking down on black people and bigging up, police officers. Again, I didn't read all of it, so that was the gist that I got. If you got more information, please share it with me at 513-873-7134. You know what I'm saying? All I can say is that for all these self-loathing black folks that want to make excuses for the police, when you come in contact with the police, they don't know who you are. They don't know you a self-loathing black person that's really jockeying them on social media. So they're going to treat you like they treat the rest of us. Just so you know. Just a heads up to you. Because we got some self-loathing black men in Cincinnati as well. Running around here making excuses and talking nonsense. All I'm here to tell you is that they're not going to cut you any slack, bro. You're going to get it just like everybody else. Anybody can get it. Like Adrian Broner said. Anybody can get it. Makes no difference. Makes no difference. 513. Somebody writes the red machine is in the house. Is that right? The red machine, huh? All right. Daryl writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. Good morning to you, Daryl. I profile when I see Trump stuff on a car or someone wearing gear. It's hard not to profile somebody with Trump gear. It really is. It really is. I don't hate to admit it. I'll be honest with you. I do. It makes me think that they're not that bright. Like the only people out here that should be stumping for Trump on the real are the people that's actually making money with Trump. They're actually getting out ahead. Like all these people in the White House and the Trump administration, I get it. You sit next to the throne. You know what I'm saying? You got a big old job title and you're getting paid by the taxpayers, right? You are somebody. I get it. But these everyday, ordinary backwater bubbas that are actually not benefiting from Trump's policy, and we'll talk about Trump's policy coming up, which I think is just a head scratcher. I just don't understand it. And it's probably going to help shoot him in the foot and help him lose the election in November because more and more information is coming out, and including information here in Hamilton County. We'll get to that in a second. But, these backwater bubbas, you're not even benefiting from his policies. Did Trump bring back beautiful, clean coal? No. You know why? Because the coal industry's never coming back. It's just what it is. When Hillary told you that 4 years ago, you thought, oh, she just don't know. No, she does know. It's not going to happen. Now, let's talk about one of Trump's, it's not really a policy, but it does have an impact on every man, woman, and child. Every man, woman, and child in America is waiting to see when the next stimulus checks are going to come out. And the Democrats and Republicans have been going back and forth about this, and they can't agree. You know, the Republican Party, they don't want to give you more money. The Democrats want to give you more benefits. The Republicans don't want to give you benefits because they want you to be a worker bee, and they want you to go back out during the pandemic and work for their boss, work for their campaign donors and their friends. That's what it is. But finally, the House passed, another round of COVID stimulus checks. And Donald Trump, who's fresh off, everybody knows he's been dealing with COVID, even though he now says he thinks he's immune to it. I mean, just what a disgrace. Donald Trump says that there'll be no COVID checks until after he wins the election. No COVID checks for you. He's the COVID check Nazi. No COVID checks for you. No stimulus for you because he's rich. All his buddies are rich. They're taken care of. So Trump is saying he's halting COVID-19 relief until after the election. Like literally the man put out a statement saying, quote, I have instructed my representatives to stop negotiating until after the election when immediately after I win, we will pass a major stimulus bill that focuses on hardworking Americans and small businesses. Translation, if he loses, he's not going to sign a COVID stimulus package. He's going to be a grown-up child and take it out on you. And we'll have to wait until Joe Biden is inaugurated in January for him to sign it. That's what I'm getting from that. And I think there's one thing that black voters should take from Trump. Trump is quid pro quo to the extreme. He is quid pro quo to the extreme. That's why he's willing that's why he's willing to work with the Russians. It's quid pro quo. That's why he's willing to work with and say great things about Kim Jong-un. Quid pro quo. That's why he's willing to work with Ukraine. Quid pro quo. You know what I'm saying? Trump don't give a damn about hardworking Americans who've been devastated by COVID-19. He only cares about you in as much as you are going to vote for him. That seems to be a colossal mistake politically to me. When I read that, at first I thought it was fake news. I'm like, wait a minute, Trump wouldn't. Why would you say this 30 days out before the election? All that's going to do is make people vote your ass out, Buster. That's all it's going to do. Like, if people didn't have an impetus, now we really have an impetus because more and more and more you're showing us who you really are. I mean, oh, my God. I've been reading more and more over the last 24 hours that the Republican Party, despite what our good buddy Drop says, what's being reported is that the Republican Party is nervous all over the country and in battleground states in which at this point 4 years ago, Hillary was not statistically or polling at the same place as Joe Biden. And these cats are running around scared as hell. They won't admit it, but something tells me that these Hamilton County Republicans are scared as hell because they've hitched their wagon to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is terrible. He's terrible. He is terrible. You've instructed your representatives to stop negotiating until after the election, immediately after I win. So why would you do that? Wouldn't it make more sense to do it beforehand so people can have these sweet notions and sweet ideas in your head as they go in to vote? Here in Hamilton County, it was reported by, I saw this on Joe Mallory. Shout out to Joe Mallory with the NAACP. Of course, they're continuing with their forum series. They got one tonight hosted by Donnie B. Make sure you check it out. And let me see what this is here. This is quite interesting. I thought this was quite interesting. Republicans are shaking in their boots. Somebody should watch Bruce Hoffbauer because when he gets scared, unarmed black men get killed. Because he has to be scared right now because this is not a good sign, in my opinion. I don't think it's a good sign. Let me find it right here. I want to make sure I'm very, very specific. This information was put out over, let's see, I'm looking for it now. Oh, here it is. No, actually it was Derek Bauman. Shout out to Derek Bauman. He's running for city council. So again, this is just put on Facebook. I don't know if it's true or not. But so yesterday was the first day of early voting in Ohio. So in 2008, what's being reported is that 778 people voted in 2008 during the first day of early voting. In 2012, 825 people voted on the first day of early voting in Ohio. In 2016, 915 people voted on the first day of early voting here in Ohio. In 2020, just yesterday, it's being reported that 3,053 people voted. That's 3 times as much as 2016. So the way I'm reading it is that this is a referendum against Trump. And if you're Republican on the ticket and Democrats are coming out and independents are coming out energized to vote against the leader of your party, well, that runs the risk of them just voting straight D down the line. Take it out on all you busters. Could be. Could be. I know Shabbat's got a really close race right now, and he deserves to have a close race. Because what has he done for the people of the 1st Congressional District? Nothing. What has he been? He's a creature from the Trump lagoon. He's been a creature for a long time. The only reason why Shabbat is in office is because of the gerrymandering and the dirty politics. That's it. But what has he delivered? What has he delivered? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. What has Joe Dieters delivered for you? Joe Dieters' whole deal is trying to scare people. I don't really watch a lot of local television, but I was watching, I think I was watching the NBA game over the last couple of shows. Shout out to the Lakers, by the way. They won yesterday. Yeah, they dug in deep. It was an ugly game, so to speak. Wasn't high scoring, but, they won. So now they're up 3-1. We'll see what happens. I kind of want to see a 7-game series, I'll be honest with you, because this is the end of basketball. I kind of want to see Jimmy Butler and the team come back. So we'll see what they do on, Friday? It'll be interesting. But I got a chance to see that negative ad that they're running, and it's just fear-mongering. Oh, don't let Fanon Rucker destroy Hamilton County. Oh, because he's black, he's going to destroy Hamilton County? That's all it is. Some straight Willie Horton-esque type of ish. And if you go down the line, and I know this very intimately because I moderated the debates, had to prepare for them, right? And through the preparation and actually watching very, very intensely as to what these people had to say, I came up with some similarities. There's some similarities between all of these white male Republican candidates. They're all using fear. Then none of them are coming up with any great ideas. What great idea has Joe Dieters came up with? What great idea has Andy Black come up with? And don't say, oh, we're going to renegotiate the Bengals contract. Anybody in Hamilton County, everybody, the birds, you can dig up some earthworms and ask them. Everybody knows that it's a bad deal. That's not innovation. That's not witty. That's not insightful. We all know that. If you went and talk with the Brown family, they would tell you it was a bad deal. Everybody in the world knows it's a bad deal. I don't know if they are extraterrestrials, but if they are, if you polled them, they would tell you it's a bad deal. Everyone, every human being in Hamilton County knows it's a bad deal. Even the people that don't pay attention to politics knows it's a bad deal. So Andy Black don't get no points for that. Plus, he's running around here embracing racist political tricks and campaign literature. Again, all through the line. Alex Glandorf. What ideas, Bruce Hoffbauer, what good ideas have any of them come up with or offered? None. There's a similarity between, and a common thread between all of them, and that is fear-mongering. That's all it is. They're trying to scare white folks that don't know better that the Democrats are going to destroy Hamilton County. Oh, again, I asked them. I've asked several of these folks as the moderator, so what are you going to do? Well, I have to look and see and wait and see when I get in office. Then why are you running? How are you better if you can't tell me how you're going to improve the office before you get there? Facts. Facts. Facts on facts on facts. But they're trying to scare white folks, scare suburbanites, people not in the city who don't know, into voting for them because they're white and because they're Republicans. That's all it is. That's all it is. Andy Black is not a decent man. The guy who's running for Hamilton County Commissioner he's not a decent man. If he was a decent man, he would have came out and distanced himself from that subtly racist flyer that was put out by the Hamilton County Republican Party. He would have did it. That's what a decent man would have done. A decent man would have said, you know what, you'll check it. I still think I'm better than Alicia. But you know what? I got to step away from all of this over here. That's what a decent man would have done. He's not a decent man. And we don't need people like that in leadership positions. We don't need it. Bruce Hoffbauer shows no remorse after killing an unarmed black man. He act like just because the dude has some mental issues that it was okay for you to shoot him and kill him. Talking about he was breaking glass with his bare hands and he showed no pain threshold. Is that what you tell yourself you can sleep at night, Bruce? Is that what you tell yourself? So what that tells me as a leader, if one of your sheriff deputies did that, you would take their side. That's what that tells me. You know what I'm saying? You ask this man what he's going to do. Well, I've got to get to the office and then I'll look at what's going on. Wait a minute. You got to get to then why are you running? If you can't tell us what's wrong and how you're going to lead whatever the office is better, then why should we vote for you? Just straight off the tip, like no politics involved, no gender issues involved, no nothing. Just stop right there. You can't tell me what you're going to do better. Why should I vote for you? Why should I vote for you? And local media letting these cats off the hook, trying to be all Cincinnati polite, not keeping it real. What's the use of having a forum, WOWT, if you're not going to ask them the difficult questions? Oh, thank you so much, Fast Pitch. What's the use of having a forum if you're not going to ask the difficult questions, the hard questions? It makes that's why I say shout out to the Prince Hall Masons and NAACP, because at their forum with their moderators, they ask the questions that need to be asked. You know what I'm saying? And if you a sucker, like we saw with Joe Dieters, he's got all this bluster. He's got all this John Wayne in him. And he couldn't even do a video conference call from his house, from his home, to talk with the black community. He couldn't even do that. What does that tell you? But he's TNT. He's so tough when somebody's broken the law, and even with some cases when they didn't break the law. Like I said, he real good at locking people up for no reason whatsoever, but he couldn't even get a conviction when we had a videotape of a UC police officer killing an unarmed black man named Sam DuBose. He couldn't even deliver the goods. You had it on tape. You had it on video. And you put together the worst case ever. Fumbling around, blah, 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 blah. Fumbling around. We don't need you, Joe. We can do so much better on so many levels than Joe Dieters as a Hamilton County prosecutor. So much better. I could have done that job, and I'm not a lawyer. You could have paid me to go in there and fuck it up. It was the worst job ever. I keep saying, I've been saying it for years. It was the worst job ever in their half-hearted attempts to convict Ray Tensing. And you had the man on video. You had experts that said, we think he's lying. Yeah, he was dragging me. Well, we look at the video. We don't see you being dragged. He got scared, just like Bruce Hoffbauer did back in the 90s, and killed an unarmed black man, and then used white privilege and the privilege of being a police officer in today's world, with all of the rules and injustices involved with it, to get off, period. That's why I just can't let that Bruce Hoffbauer thing go. We'll do Fast Pitch doing it right now. And that's why I just can't let it go, because we see it over and over again. You know what I'm saying? There's too many examples of it. Y'all can let it go, but not me. I am not satisfied. And like I told you, I was going to circle back around and offer him. I'm not even going to. Why? This is valuable real estate. Nah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool. No, Buster. Peddle your lies somewhere else. We know who you are now. So that's just me. I mean, and that's the reason why people are coming out in droves, is because they're sick of Trump. And hopefully they're going to take it out on the whole ticket down the line. Now, does that mean that I think that the Democrat Party is perfect? Obviously not. I shouldn't even really have to say that, but I'll say it just say anyway. No, obviously not. But what we see from these fools, man, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Why would anybody vote for this? Why would you vote for that? I don't understand. Why would you do that? I'm not doing it. Wife and I are going to early vote. We might early vote today, as a matter of fact. We'll see. We thought about doing yesterday and just things. Yesterday was a very busy day for me, and she was busy as well. So maybe sometime this week to get that done. Yeah, as I understand, people are trying to call in, and I've just redirected the phone line. So you can give me a call at 513-873-7134. Are you sharing this? Please share this gospel, because nobody in the city is giving it to you like I am. Please share this gospel if you live in the city of Cincinnati. The gospel of common sense, the gospel of early morning flow. Because everybody else trying to be friends and, keep buddy and acquaintance. I don't give a damn about none of that. Zero. Period. I'll say it again. CDM is home of the most unfiltered black voices in Cincinnati. Period. Bar none. Bar none. You're not going to find any media company, no media platform where the voices are as unfiltered as they are here. That's what we're all about. Keeping it rizzle. As an individual. 100%. Because that's what we need. We have too much Cincinnati polite for too long. It's killing us. Hold on. I think we're getting a call here. We've had too much Cincinnati polite for too long, and it's killing us. Everybody trying to be cool and be friends. I mean, I like to be friends too, but not at the expense of my integrity. It ain't going down like that. I'm not with it. And then, that's how black people's issues get covered up and misdirected, because they get pushed to the back burner because everybody wants to be cool. Everybody want to be friends. They want to be invited to the party. I've been to all the parties. I'm partied out. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. I'm good. Getting better every day. Let's go to the phones. Let's say good morning to our first call. Hey, good morning to you, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side Connection. The one and only, the most hated man in the chop shop, Drop Squad 52. How are you, sir?
I'm doing excellent. I don't think
I'd like to give a shout out to Fast Pitch and her debut show last night. Much success. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Absolutely. I thought it was a good start. I mean, a little issue at the very end, but things happen. Yeah. But thank you for saying that.
Oh yeah. Oh, Mr. Ivey, I have the utmost confidence in your ability as well as Sin Digital Media. So
appreciate that.
You just getting started, sir. Now, Mr. Ivey, the reason I call, you have the audacity to get on your show, and just because 3,000 people showed up for early voting in Ohio, which you don't know if they were there for Trump or for Obama. I mean, for Biden. That was a Freudian slip. But you don't know who those people are voting for. And then you also have the audacity to say that the Republican Party is shaking in their boots with 28 days to go.
Yeah, they are.
Mr. Ivey? I don't think so. Because there was some evidence that came out yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, but the former First Lady, Michelle Mabel Obama, released a campaign video speech.
I know.
Did you see it, sir?
I did.
And does that sound like a lot of confidence and enthusiasm in the black vote? Mr. Ivey.
I'm not sure that's
what I was shocked.
You were shocked? What were you shocked about?
Mr. Ivey, you talk about playing a race card? You talk about pandering? You talk about fear-mongering? Mr. Ivey, now, again, I'm not going to put this Michelle Obama campaign video in the same category as other videos that sometimes you selectively choose not to play. But this video is out there. There was no coverage of it, no follow-up with, oh, did you hear what she said? Ooh, she laid it on. Nothing. You know why, right, Mr. Ivey? Because it was horrible. It shows the desperation of the Democrat Party and their worries over the young black vote, aka Bernie Bros. You know, people like our favorite Esquire in the chop shop, Miss Donetta Bailey. Is it just me? She falls in that category of the young black people that are not feeling Sleepy Joe Biden and Kamala I'm Black Y'all Harris. So again, Mr. Ivey, I hope you play some portions of Michelle Obama's campaign speech yesterday, because it sounded like a whole lot of desperation there when it comes to the young black vote. Now, the video you showed yesterday.
I think that you're misinterpreting conviction for desperation. You know, this is just my opinion. I could be wrong about it, but when I didn't watch all of it. It's like 20 something minutes long. I watched maybe 10 minutes of it.
Exactly.
And what I got from it was she was a woman who was putting up red flags, who was really convicted about the stark realities and choices that we have, at least for president, because she was focused on that, you know, coming up in less than a month. That's what I got from it.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ivey, we all know what her husband's campaign did in 2008 and 2012 with their social media campaign. Barack Obama was the first one in 2008 to tap into the social media and go directly to the young people via their cell phones. Because you remember the deal he signed with Google. You remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you remember his efforts for net neutrality, which your favorite subject is not even in the word cloud in this election. You know, it's on the same level as reparations. We don't hear reparations. We don't hear net neutrality. But Mr. Ivey, that speech, I hope you do find the time. I know it wasn't part of your show prep today, but if you get a minute to just pull out some different segments. But again, I still don't think you will, because Mr. Ivey, the fact that Michelle Obama comes out with a long campaign speech like this with 28 days to go, it shows their internal polling that they're having trouble with the young black vote.
Well,
because in the video you showed.
To be fair, Rob, I mean, just to be fair, I mean, this ain't the first time she's done it during this election cycle. For a woman who said that she didn't really want to get into politics, and we can debate whether that's the veracity of that or not, back and forth.
Right.
But this is the latest in a series of campaign videos that she's put out, speaking to people that rock with her. And she's speaking very direct. Again, to me, what I'm picking up for her is that she feels very convicted about the stark choices in the upcoming election for president. This is what, the third video she's put out. So it's not like the first time she's done this.
Okay, first of all, Mr. Ivey, it was recorded because there was no mention of Donald Trump and Melania getting well from COVID-19. At least I don't remember that part. Maybe she mentioned it, but I didn't hear it. So again, this was probably pre-recorded, just like her speech for the Democratic convention, virtual convention. It was recorded, and she didn't mention Kamala I'm Black Y'all Harris in that video. So again, the video you showed yesterday of the early voters in Ohio, just from the video you showed from someone's Twitter feed, Mr. Ivey, those were older black people, okay? That's not the issue with Joe Biden's campaign. He's got the older vote locked up, and he's even stole some of the older vote, white vote from Donald Trump. And you did mention, yes, he is struggling in some areas, but the internal polling for the Democrat Party, Mr. Ivey,
Arizona, Florida,
issue.
Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. He's struggling in some major areas. The polls are not in his favor across the board.
No, okay, but first of all, Mr. Ivey, it's 28 days to go. So the polls, whoever's conducting these polls, if they want to maintain credibility and keep their clients, the polls are going to get a little tighter. Because the two polls that came out earlier this week, one from NBC, Wall Street Journal, and the other one from CNN, where Joe Biden nationally was up 12, 14 points. I mean, come on, 2016, it was the same for Hillary Clinton. I posted a video of that. the exact same thing was happening in 2016. And all the pundits, all the so-called smart people in Washington were saying, it's over. Hillary's the next president. Get ready for the big celebration. Donald Trump has no chance. Republicans are leaving him in droves. And then I turn on your show this morning, and I'm hearing the exact same thing. So again, Mr. Ivey, I'm not going to take up any more of your time, but there is a real problem in the Democrat Party with their internal polling with young black men, mainly young black males, are leaving the Democrats in high numbers, Mr. Ivey, because again, for the Democrats to release Michelle Obama's video now, what's going to be the October surprise for the Democrat Party? Because it seems like they don't have one, unless it's going to be Barack Obama. He's going to come out with some kind of speech like this. But
I'm sure he will come out with something, but
see.
I'm not sure if the Democrats really need an October surprise. If anybody needs an October surprise, it appears to be Donald Trump. And we got it. Surprise. I've got COVID.
Oh, come on.
I've got COVID. That was the October surprise.
Right. See, now,
and it looks like that's going to hurt him. And I suspected as much, because you spend all this time trying to downplay something. Oh, we got it under control. We got it under control. We got it under control. And then you catch it. So it just underscores, his Gilligan moment.
Recovered.
And it's ineffective. And how ineffective he is as a leader. That's one way of looking at him getting COVID.
You're not telling the whole story.
Well, then fill in the blanks.
He recovered just like, I think it's 97 or 98% of people who contract the COVID virus, they recover. He recovered
from what? So it's a Democrat hoax. He recovered from what?
I like your flow, Mr. Ivey.
Exactly.
I love it. But
completely cynical.
I get it. I get it, Mr. Ivey. But tonight in Utah, Kamala, I'm Black Y'all Harris, will have her chance to get her black card punched or to get it toe up in her face. We're going to wait and see. Drop Squad 52 dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's tonight. And I am planning on doing a Black Watch Party, and you'll find it on Facebook tonight. We'll probably kick it off at about 9:55. I'm sorry, about 8:55. I believe it starts at 9. We're looking forward to that. Vice President Pence versus Senator Kamala Harris of California. They're going to be at the University of Utah. And I'm not sure if they're going to have a plexiglass sort of barrier up. Maybe Kamala will. And I think Mike Pence has said no, because having plexiglass up during a pandemic, that shows that you're weak. And we are strong. That's my Mike Pence. So we're looking forward to it. We'll see. I mean, from a black perspective, I want to know, are black voter issues going to be discussed? Will the conversation about black people be larger than just George Floyd? I mean, will they talk about, wage increases? Will they talk about affordable housing? Will they talk about, money for entrepreneurs? Will they talk about a recovery plan for black-owned businesses? Will there be any conversation about black wealth building? And if so, what are the particulars? Those are the things that matter. If they just talk about George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, I'm going to be disappointed once again. He did bring up something that I think has not been discussed, and I'll say it again. This is one of the most important issues that no one's talking about. Net neutrality. There's been some movement basically in the last couple of weeks. And I'm just here to tell you that, for those who are aware of that issue and what that really means, the president of the United States has a lot of sway on that, because the FCC is a board that the members are appointed to directly by the president. And the way it works is that whatever party is in power has a majority on the FCC board. So what does that mean? That means if Joe Biden wins, depending on who he appoints, because Obama put Ajit Pai, and Obama, again, people run around acting like the Democrats, the Republicans made it seem like Obama was like some arch progressive. He never was that. Because if he was, he would have made different choices with his appointments, like not putting Ajit Pai on the board of the FCC, who later became the chairman when Trump came in office. So for those who are aware of it, and I've hit the streets of Cincinnati trying to raise awareness about that issue. I mean, it means so much to us, especially people in this creative space called the internet. It means something for your rates. Like I told you, the cable companies, they want to make the internet just like it is for cable news. You got to pay for every little channel, every little website you go to. They want to control your bandwidth and put data caps on everything. This is a public utility. The internet is a public utility. The telecommunications community doesn't own it. Verizon doesn't own it. T-Mobile doesn't own it. Comcast doesn't. They didn't create it. They don't own it. But the Republican Party has allowed them to act as if and operate as if they own it. It is a public utility. It should be free and open and accessible. It should be a level playing field. And you should get as much information about that issue as possible. I'd love to see if that comes up tonight. Something tells me it will not. Overall, all these debates on television are going to come down to personality context. That's what it comes down to. I hate to reduce it, but that's what it's going to be. It's going to come down to, who got the best lines in and things like that. A lot of people are waiting to see if Kamala Harris can ruffle Mike Pence's feathers. Right? Because he tries to come across like, nothing bothers him. So can she get to him? And we'll see. Mike Pence is a cool guy. He's a real cool, even keel guy. Doesn't lose his cool. He keeps that monotone, keeps that chin up. So we'll see what Kamala can do. And we're also going to see if some of the new debate tools are going to be put in place to allow the moderators to have more control, right? Because Trump showed that just because you're in your 70s doesn't mean you're mature. It doesn't mean that. But damn, what Drop's talking about, I don't know what he's talking about, man. The reality is, from what I'm reading across the board, it's not looking good for Trump. And some of these swing states, that's why I said battleground states. I meant to say swing states. It ain't looking good. Arizona, Florida, Michigan, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Biden has a lead in every single one of those states. That is not the same as it was 4 years ago with Hillary Clinton. It is not the same, no matter what he tells you. It is not. That is not true. And some of the polling coming out says that people are very, very upset with Trump and the way that he managed coronavirus. And so I've talked to people personally within my own personal circle who are like, you know what? I was never really 100% with Biden. But when I saw how Trump operated during a pandemic, later for that, there's a lot of people, it opened people's eyes. Like, whoa, he really don't care. And now he's playing games with the stimulus checks. You playing with people's checks, homie. You playing with people's emotions. You got to go. You got to go. And I bet these Republicans behind closed doors, because they're all scurrying around like cockroaches, are scared of the light, are scared that Donald Trump might, come down hard on them. And he will. And he will. Maybe they're scared for good reason. They're too afraid to say anything in public. Like even our governor. Our governor has the weakest responses. Trump came to Cleveland and spread COVID. And Mike DeWine was like, well, I really, gee golly, wish that Trump would have put a mask on. That would have been swell. Get some backbone. Say it with me, folks. Mike DeWine has no spine. Mike DeWine has no spine. He's the most spineless man in Ohio. And he's the governor. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Casey, but at least Casey could call it out for what it was. Mike DeWine has no spine whatsoever. He's got no spine. He's got no stand up on him whatsoever. Unless he's standing up to the family of John Crawford and defying their wishes and releasing the videotape, the surveillance tape from Walmart. Now he'll stand up then. When he's face to face with a black grieving family, he ain't got no problem standing up. I'm not going to release the videotape, right? Then we finally got to see this videotape, and we know why he didn't want to release it. Because it showed that John Crawford did nothing wrong, and the police overreacted. That's the only example that I've seen in recent history of Mike, no spine, DeWine standing up. Because he certainly don't stand up to Trump. Trump came to your state and spread COVID. He spread COVID. Oh, gee golly, that guy, I don't condone it. He's the president. You sucker. Get a spine. As soon as some of these white business owners got all in their feelings, right, and then went to the state house and started protesting, what did he do? He folded in like a lawn chair, like doop, doop, two-step process. Doop, 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 doop. He was done. He was done. Mike DeWine has no spine. Mike DeWine has no spine. Mike DeWine has no spine whatsoever. None. Zero. And the man is so spineless. Unless he's dealing with a grieving black family. Then he's got a spine. Oh, my God. The world we live in is so crazy, family. I got to take a break. 513-873-7134. That is my number. We'll come right back. Don't go anywhere. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, Cincinnati's first daily digital talk show that focuses on the black community. And we'll be right back.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson. Microsoft says the U.S. Labor Department is questioning whether its commitment to promote more black managers and executives violates civil rights laws. The software maker said in June that it would double the number of black and African American managers and senior leaders in the U.S. by 2025. Microsoft is confident its diversity pledge is legal, but the company who contracts with the U.S. government means it must comply with certain federal requirements on employment practices. The Trump administration has banned federal contractors from hiring practices they deem divisive based on race. Other companies, including some with federal contracts, have announced similar diversity programs. Google plans to add 30% more leaders from underrepresented groups by 2025. And Boeing says it's targeting boosting black employees by 20% over the next 3 years. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
Jill Schiller has been missing in action, and now we know why. Did you know that Jill Schiller, candidate for Hamilton County Treasurer, got away with a dangerous offense? Her friends and connections at Cincinnati City Hall turned their heads when she was racing through a Cincinnati public school zone doing 52 in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. She could have killed a child. As a mother of 3, that's concerning. 25,000 children are injured each year because of speeding in a school zone. 100 children are killed in school zones each year by people like Schiller. Schiller should have served 5 days in jail as the law states, but being privileged kept her out while you, the public, would have gone to jail. Her friends and connections at City Hall only fined her $60, and they quickly destroyed the evidence the next day. We cannot trust Schiller with our school children. Should we trust her to protect and safeguard our tax dollars? Vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer. We can trust him to safeguard our tax dollars and our children.
Paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn. This is Zoe Wesson. What side of history do you want to be on? The right side, or one where black people continue to be underrepresented in Hamilton County? Now's your chance to end 230 years of exclusion. In Charlie Winburn, we have a man that's received the Cincinnati NAACP President's Award, who fought on the Ohio Civil Rights Commission for 6 years, who received the Baptist Ministers Conference Community Service Award. Charlie Winburn has received the Southern Christian Leadership Conference Award and was honored by WDBZ The Buzz as Pastor of the Month. We know Charlie Winburn, and he knows us. He's the right man to put us on the right side of history. On Tuesday, November 3rd, vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer. I am Charlie Winburn, and I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, November the 3rd, paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Get ready to be engaged. Get ready to be informed. Get ready to be enlightened. Get ready to be enraged by the man City Beat Magazine called a talk radio rebel. And your host. Now back to the show.
good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Beautiful day here. Beautiful Wednesday, hump day. We made it. Of course, you got the big VP debate tonight. And we'll be holding a Black Watch Party on Facebook. Look for it. If you want to join the conversation, feel free to do so. And I offer a little bit of commentary, but really, I think people want to hear what the candidates have to say. So I kind of stepped to the back and, I occupied a small space on the screen, and we'll put the screen up and watch and listen to the debate. Of course, you're welcome to comment. I'll put your comments up on the screen. And then we'll spend about 10, 15 minutes or maybe even longer after. I think we spent about 30 minutes after the presidential debate, chopping it up afterwards and talking about it in real time, getting your real thoughts about it. 513-873-7134. Good morning to you. Welcome back. A beautiful Wednesday morning in the Queen City. Yeah, this is my home office. Those are real books right there. Those are real plants. I love plants. You should have plants in every room of your house, multiple plants. Helps keeps the air clean. You know what I'm saying? They're good for humans. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Got some CDM stuff in the background. Listen, if you haven't done so already, please go over to our Facebook page and like and follow. Good morning to you. Start the show talking about a viral video, a shocking video of allegedly an ex-police officer. He's allegedly an ex-police officer who pulls a gun on a man who met him to return his phone. And I just asked you, if you've been there before, have you ever lost your phone before? It is the worst thing ever. It's the worst thing ever. Woody writes, I live in Forest Park, punk-ass Shabbat district. Heading to drop-off box in Norwood, Shabby must be removed. Well, listen, the reason why people are saying about Steve Shabbat is because he's done a shabby job. He is shabby. You're right about that. It's a good way of putting it. Steve Shabby Shabbat. He's done a shabby job of representing the people in the first district. Trump came into town with his circus, and he said, you know what? You got any clown makeup for me? And he put the clown makeup on and became a clown in the Trump cavalcade. And that's to the detriment to the people in the first district, in my humble opinion. I mean, what has he done for you lately? Hit you with the old school Janet Jackson. The GA Senate race is still about dog whistles with John Ossoff. We have the 50% rule too. TNT writes, yes, it's a bad deal. Like, everybody knows that it's a bad deal. That's the best thing that Andy Black can bring to you. I would have had a lot more respect with Andy Black if he had came out and distanced himself from that subtly racist, and that's how I look at it. I think it's subtly racist, sponsored by the Hamilton County Republican Party. They probably paid somebody big money to do that. And it's like, I mean, I'm in the wrong business. I need to start me a political consulting business. Like, they probably got paid thousands of dollars to come up with that flyer. I can do that on Canva. I can do that. Let me think here. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Yeah, that's good. Alex is going to love this. Oh, yeah, that's really good. Yeah, okay, we'll get some Mickey Mouse hands and we'll put it on Alicia Reese. Oh, this is perfect. 10 G's on the invoice. Huh? Somebody's getting paid. I ain't mad at you. Get your money in. Make your money, brother, sister, whoever you might be. I mean, just pay attention to it. I'll say it again. I mean, you can draw, there's a thread between all of these Hamilton County candidates for the various races. That's prosecutor, that's sheriff, that's clerk, that's commissioner. There's a thread between all of these white males. None of them have any ideas. Like, between the four of those white men running for those respective races, they have zero ideas. And I mean zero. And I'm telling you the truth. I'm not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating. Alex Glandorf has zero ideas when it comes to being the next clerk of court. His big idea is, well, when I win, I'm going to go down there and look at the books and talk with everybody, and then we'll figure out what we need to do. Wait a minute, what? Huh? Bruce Hoffbauer has no ideas whatsoever. His big thing is that he was a beat cop. But you're not running to be the chief of police. You're running to be the Hamilton County Sheriff. His number one thing is he worked on the streets of Cincinnati in Vortex. That's his number one thing. He has no ideas. I know because I moderated the debate and I sat there and watched it. I asked the man the questions. He has no ideas whatsoever, no innovations on nothing. I asked the man about diversity and the putrid diversity numbers. You know what this man said? He said, well, Nate, I think that constitutes progress. What? That's what the man said. That's what the man said. Andy Black's big idea is that he thinks we should renegotiate the bingo deal. Really, Andy? Light bulb. Oh, we never thought of that. And Joe Dieter's big idea is that he's a white guy who gets tough on crime, especially when it's perpetrated by black folks. So vote for him, because if you vote for his challenger, Fanon Rucker, he's going to destroy Hamilton County. There's no ideas between these four men whatsoever. There's no innovation. You're not going to get diversity. You're not going to get anything different. It's going to be the same old, from their mouths. I'm not making this up. This is what they have said. This is what they have said in public appearances. Like I said, when I see two people running in a race and one person is always criticizing the other, okay, tell me what they did wrong. Yabba dabba do. Well, he wants to be in a different office. Huh? Well, my opponent, he might run for another office. That's what Alex Glandorf said to me. I'm like, huh? What? My opponent might run for another office. Huh? This is why you're running? Terrible. We deserve better. And it's just a terrible look for the Hamilton County Republican Party. This is the best you can come up with? Y'all couldn't even get no token black folks? Damn. Yes, I would. I like that dress too, black woman. Sorry. Black wifey came in. We'll talk later. It's good to be me. Let me see here. Ebony writes, good morning, all. Hey, good morning to you, Ebony. Erica writes, good morning, good people. Remember, the front windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror for a reason. Look forward. Okay, I got you. Cleopatra Jones writes, rise and shine to Nathan and the Choppers. And good morning to you. Brenda writes, good morning. David writes, vote. Lannis writes, good morning, Brother Nathan Ivey. Good morning to you, Brother Lannis Timmons. Good to see you. He writes, vote. Brian writes, I'm going to vote today. I've told people before about this platform that the people that listen to this show from all over the greater Cincinnati area and beyond, into Kentucky, into Chicago, into all over the country, right, are voters, right? But they're not just voters, but many of them are influencers. I keep telling people that. I don't know why they won't listen. Renee writes, good morning and congrats. Good morning to you, Renee. Brent is on YouTube. He writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Checking in from Dallas, Texas. I keep telling folks, we grow every day. Sister Iris writes, good morning, great people. Good morning to see. Good morning and good to see you, Sister Iris. Glenn writes, morning, Nate and the Facebook Choppers. Good morning to you. Fast Pitch writes, good morning, all except the Karen and Darren trollers. Good morning to you. A host of Valet Service. You can check out the podcast up on CDM right now. We kicked it off last night. Check it out. Charles writes, good morning. They are not letting people park in the parking lot across from the Hamilton County Board of Elections. Really? Why not? Why not? Ain't nobody else going over there. What do you got over there? You got like a bank and there's some stuff over there. I mean, you got like a fitness center or something like that, but why not? Kelly Prather's in the house. She writes, good morning, great people. Good to see you. Mae Jones writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. I'm late on my chopper sound effects. Let me pull them up here.
Oh! Get to the chopper!
Woody writes, good morning, Brother Nathan and the Chopper. Stay blessed and safe. Absolutely.
Get to the chopper!
Nat writes, good morning, Choppers. Good morning to you, Nat.
Get
David writes, it's hard to let go of a good wallet. This must be the old school to me. Because like I said, I've got it's not even really a wallet. It's really a card holder. And there's a space in there for me to put money into it. But I don't know. It's all ratted and tatted and torn and. What are you looking for? There's my honey. There's my honey right here. There's my honey right there. Thank you. Thank you. If you lose your phone, you lose your identity, intimate conversations, memories, photos, and important contacts. Yeah, you do. Absolutely. To me, I think losing my phone is worse because, it's an inconvenience. It's going to cost me, what, 10, 20, 25 bucks. I got to go down and get another one of these. But, and wait a minute, what is this on here? Okay. But it's not as bad as losing your phone. You lose your phone, you got all kind of intimate photographs of your family, your children. You've got access and connections to all your various social networking platforms, right? Which you might be using for business. You've got access to, maybe the back end of the apps that you use to stay on top of your spending with your debit cards and stuff like that. You got access to your email, right? Come on, you can't. That's indispensable. Yeah, indispensable. Lannis writes, wallet, keys, and phone. I said before I leave the house. Phone, keys, and wallet. So you got to, the human brain is funny. Sometimes you got to come up with a little jingle to remember this kind of stuff. Deborah writes, good morning. My wallet is more important to me, but I misplaced my phone and refuse to leave the house without it. Greg writes, good morning, choppers, good folks, and the like.
Get to the chopper!
Anthony writes, my sensitive ears, Nay. Oh, my apologies. My apologies. Marcus writes, that's crazy. That must have been the part when you were playing the clip. My apologies. I should have forewarned you. It was some extreme language. I try to do my best to do that. Brent writes, I only have my wife's phone number memorized. Same here. I got my wife's phone number memorized and my mother's number memorized. If my mother changes her phone, I'm like, damn, Ma, I called your number. You know what I'm saying? My brain, it's just these phones, man. They're making us less sharp. There was a time when you had to remember stuff. Now you don't have to remember a damn thing. Jasmine writes, I agree. Anthony writes, nowadays phones can be tracked. Not like when they first came out and you just found a free to use the phone. They ain't worth keeping now. True. Brent's on YouTube, he writes, I don't carry a wallet. I have a pouch in the back of my cell phone that I keep my ID and one credit card in it. So basically, you lose your phone, it's a wrap. You done lost everything. You know what I'm saying? Brandy writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you, Brandy. Kelly writes, technology is limiting our memory. It most certainly is. Hey, listen, folks, please take a second. You got me up until 9:30. We're back to virtual learning. And I'm not sure, my son is scheduled to go to school next week. We'll have to see how that works. I'll say it again. CPS, in my opinion, should remain virtual at your school throughout the rest of the calendar year. None of this back and forth and let's check the weather channel and all that. We don't need to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Error on the side of caution. I'll say it again. Who are the forces, the voices? Where is the energy coming from that's putting pressure on the school board or the CPS superintendent to go back to in-school learning? Who are you? And if you're a parent and you're making a bunch of noise because you got to work, that's your problem. That's your problem. Work it out. Stop putting the pressure on us because you haven't done what you need to do to put yourself in a position where you can properly take care of your children during a pandemic. Oh, Nate, it's unavoidable. Yeah, unavoidable, no. Unforeseeable. Yes and no. Like, nobody could have predicted that COVID-19 was going to hit the way it has. Like, this issue been hitting different. I remember we was making jokes about it. It was a novelty back in like March. You know what I'm saying? April. It's like, oh, man, everybody's in the house. It was different. Now, we be getting used to it. We are so used to it. This ain't no big deal no more, family. Listen, Mother Nature has much worse in store for us if we don't get our act together as stewards of this globe. If we don't get our act together, Mother Nature is going to throw a haymaker at us. This ain't nothing. Right now, Mother Nature is just kind of waking us up and trying to get our attention. Like, I'm still here. I'm still in control. Don't forget me, right? God is just sending us a little polite message like, I'm still in charge. Things can get a lot worse. That's all I'm trying to say. Things can get a lot worse before they get better. I got the Boy Scout in me. We be loyal. Always be ready. Prepare for every scenario. That's what you got to do. Okay, he arrested, but will he be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law? That's the question. She's talking about the situation down in Texas where a white male Texas Ranger tasered, then shot an unarmed black man because he was walking away. And then we found out that everybody's reporting he was a stand-up black guy and he loved the community. And he was on Facebook or social media, defending police officers. And so for me, it's just an example to say that all those self-loathing black folks that want to ride and posse, when it's not even really called for law enforcement, right? Instead of holding them accountable. Listen, when they come for you, buddy, bad boys, what you're going to do, which, by the way, cops, they stopped the production of it. But what I've read in the last week is that they're going to come back now. They stopped the production of Cops because of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and the mood. But now the show makes so much money that the producers want to bring it back. They're bringing the show back. And, you'll be able to enjoy, your favorite, episodes of Cops. I didn't even know the show was still on. I'm so disconnected from broadcast television these days that I had no idea the show was even on. I remember when it first started many, many years ago and people were watching. It was so interesting. It was before the dawn of the internet. See, now when you want to watch viral videos and world's craziest police chases, you just go online and it's right there. But back then, the only place you could see it was on Cops. I mean, my thing is that whatever made them stop the production of it, I think it's still in place. Like, what would make you stop the production of a TV show? Something to think about. Daryl writes, I profile when I see Trump stuff on. I think I read that already. My dad loved Walker, Texas Ranger. The grandkids were like, Paul, do we have to watch Walker, Texas Ranger? Ha, 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 right. I never liked it. I mean, I watched too much of this whole, Tarzan-ish. That's all that is. It's the whole Tarzan motif. White man goes into the deep recesses of the African continent and tames everything. You know what I'm saying? That Tarzan motif got played out in a lot of television shows, right? Like Star Trek with William Shatner. Same thing. The idea that a white male human, no matter where he goes in the universe, is always going to come out on top. How is that anything but white cultural supremacy? Just like Tarzan. You know what I'm saying? Chuck Norris was like 87 years old in the last years of that show. Literally, he was like in his 80s or something like that. I might be exaggerating just by like a year or two. Maybe he was 86, but he's just kicking big ass, right? He's just karate chopping people that's, 40 years younger than him. And he's just tossing people out, walking to the bar and all this kind of stuff. Like he's Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. I just had enough of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm done with the whole Tarzan motif. You know what I'm saying? Eminem and MKG and hip hop is enough for me. Just saying. May Rice, still a ninja no matter what. Oh, he's still a ninja. He's still a ninja. Let me pull up an image of Walker, Texas Ranger. Yeah, I'm Walker, Texas Ranger. I mean, y'all don't stop. That nonsense. Why would I watch Walker, Texas Ranger when I can go read some Black Panther comics? The hell do I look like? I ain't doing it. And then I remember they introduced like some younger dudes in there because it was just clear they needed something for the ladies to look at. Walker, Texas Ranger. Oh my God. When I get to hell, all of you going to be there with me. I'm telling you. We're going to be there together. I'm going to do a show from hell. I'd rather be heaven, but I'm real about the consequences of my actions. It is what it is. Don't share no tears from me. I have fun. Anthony writes, who got their ballot and filled it out already and returned it? We're going to do in person. Jasmine writes, especially him not releasing a stimulus, that's going to hurt those in his base in a terrible way. Shaking my head right. I mean, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you come out and make a statement? Because what it shows you is Trump's mentality. It's quid pro quo. Why should I do this for you? What you going to do for me? So in Trump's tiny little brain, he really thinks that's going to work. Like, you know what? Yeah, people are going to vote for me because immediately after I win, I'm going to give you a stimulus check. So what does that mean, folks? The way I read it is if Trump loses in November, he's not going to sign off on any stimulus checks. Don't look for that. Black Russia's calling. Black Russia. Can you find the 30,000 emails, please? We'll talk to Black Russia in just 1 second. But so what I'm gleaning from this, what I'm gleaning from his statement, and I could be wrong, but what I glean from his statement is that if Trump loses in November, that he's going to be sour grapes president sour grapes, president pity party, right? President pity party, the petty president pity party, petty pity party president. Yeah, I like that. The petty pity party president. And he's not going to sign a stimulus package, and we'll have to wait for Joe Biden to be inaugurated in mid-January 2021 for somebody to care about us and you and to sign a stimulus package. That's what I get. That's what I get. Let's go to the phones and say good morning. Hey, good morning, Black Russia. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, comrade. Thank you.
Welcome. What's going on, brother?
Hey, I wanted to share my experience yesterday voting.
Okay. Sure. What happened?
Hey, everybody needs to go early. Like, I understand people want to vote at their crib and get the mail-in ballot. If you already asked for it, cool. But just go early. Just go to Norwood right now and go vote right now. That's what I just want to call and encourage. It was so easy. It was so quick. Like, I didn't go right there at the rush. I went later in the afternoon. I was in and out of here in 10 minutes.
About what time?
What time was it I went? It was probably about 2:15, I think.
Okay.
Because I had to run an errand. It was about 2 o'clock. And so, yeah, about 2:15, it was in and out. Just know you got to, I parked across the street. I know somebody said they don't want you to park across the street. I know I parked across the street and walked around to the other building. Because, it's not at the same building. People need to know that, too, when they roll up. Like, where they used to have early voting at, it ain't in the same building, I guess, because of social distancing. So, like, they got an annex around the back.
Oh,
so you got to follow the officers.
Okay. Now, are you just going in the back entrance of the same building, or is it an entirely different building?
I think it's an entirely different building. Like, if you're looking directly at the Board of Elections across the street, like, it's kind of on your left, like, in that driveway in between the two buildings.
Right.
I feel like they directed us to that building on the right.
Ah, because you're on the right of the driveway?
Right, correct.
Okay.
In that other building across the way.
Building. Yeah, because when I voted early in the last election, it was to the left of the driveway where they directed everybody. You don't go into the main offices of the Board of Elections. It was a room or a building that's attached to it that was to the right of those main doors.
Right. Correct, because I've been in there too early, and it's not there this time around. Probably because of social distancing. But I want to say it's that building to the right of there, because like they have people, they'll direct the traffic to the back, and they have spaces for people to park in the back. And I want to say it's in that other building on the right now. Mm-hmm. That's my recollection from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they had sanitizer everywhere. People had masks on. It was like they had glass in between where you got your ballot from. Like they sanitized every spot that you went to. Like every time somebody left, somebody was watching, they sanitized everything before you got to the booth. I mean, they're really efficient.
Cool. Sounds good to me. So what do you make of these record numbers of people that voted on the first day of early voting? Is that a good sign for the Democrats or a good sign for the Republicans, in your opinion?
Democrats. I think Trump's a dead man walking at this point. From the numbers I've seen, I think it's over.
Mm-hmm.
The party's over. Get ready to cut out the lights. I mean, you were talking about he's already being petty, or he's gonna be petty not doing the deal. He's been petty like the last couple of weeks. If you watch Twitter, he's been asking like, how am I down in the polls? in Pennsylvania when I'm pro Second Amendment or some ish like that. I'm thinking like, man, this dude know he done. He's done.
Now, what do you think so do you think that'll have an impact down the ballot? Let's talk about the county races here in Hamilton County. You think it'll have an impact on the county races?
Yeah, it'll be some down ballot things. I think is going to happen. It's going to be, Hamilton County's been going trending Democrat the last few cycles anyway. But I think this particular election right here with Donald Trump at the top of the ticket, I think you're going to see a lot of people lose. I'm just, not because they were ineffective candidates on the Republican side. It's just because Donald Trump is just the most hated man in America right now. How did that end up becoming the president? I don't know. How the president the most hated man in America? Hey, Donald Trump was able to achieve that. That's going to hurt the whole Republican ticket. Mm-hmm. With these numbers, it's over. Mm-hmm. They said they ain't seen, from what the Board of Elections said, they ain't never seen nothing like this before. Mm-hmm. The requests, the people showing up, it's crazy. Like, even though it was official for me, I went in the afternoon, but like we saw the pictures yesterday, by the time they got to the end of the day, I think like 3,000 people had already voted. Mm-hmm. So over 3,000 people. They ain't never seen that before. Mm-hmm.
That's what I saw as well. At least that's what Derek Bauman put on Facebook, and I picked up on it. So
I think
I ain't mad about it. I ain't mad about it at all. We'll see how it all shakes out. But what did you think about the game last night? Is this over? The Lakers?
I fell asleep on it.
Did you?
Yeah, it was close. I fell asleep at halftime, and I saw the final score this morning. 3-1, yeah, it might be over. But, looking back, at least Jimmy Butler didn't let him get swept. I'll say that. Jimmy Butler put some pizzazz on it. And you know what? At the end of the day, people, the basketball historians, when they look at this series, they're not going to be impressed with the Lakers beating the Heat in the NBA final.
Why not?
I know it's going to be LeBron winning the fourth title, but they're not going to be impressed with beating the fifth-seeded Heat. They're not. So,
why not?
Yeah, he'll get a fourth title, but it's going to be an asterisk.
I think there's so much anti-LeBronism out there that if you think about it, it really wouldn't have mattered who came out. Like if he had beaten the Bucks, people would have said I'm not impressed because the team isn't ready. They had beaten the Celtics. People would have said I'm not impressed because the team is. There's no one they could have beaten or faced. And again, it's not a foregone conclusion. LeBron was up, was down 1-3 to the Golden State Warriors, and they got beat. So this ain't over with. I ain't trying to say there's a nail in the coffin. And part of me hopes it goes at least 7 games because I want to see more basketball. But I just think it's anti-LeBronism. He can do no wrong in the minds of some people. Or, I'm sorry, he can do no right in the minds of some people.
You said it right the first time. I think there's a bit of that out there too.
True.
People have different perspectives on LeBron. I think he's great. I don't think he's the greatest, but I think he's great. He's fun to watch. I watched him last night. He just gets a layup when he wants to. My thing with LeBron is LeBron wants everything to go his way. And that kind of bothers me. Like he's already out there getting layups. And even my lady pointed this out. It was like he get a layup and down the other end he feel like he get fouled. It's like he's complaining like, dude, you just got a layup. And now you complain on the other end.
Yeah, that's a weak part of his game. You're right about that. That's a weak part of his game and a weak part of his leadership. It would be better if he just dealt with it, get up, rub some dirt on it, and get back on defense instead of complaining about every little call and all this kind of stuff. You're right. It's entitlement. I think it's entitlement. He feels entitled.
Yeah. Like my lady saw that. I agree with her, but it's an entitlement type situation. He's great. Like he don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's and then he can't shoot free throws. Like, he got to get better, man. He's still at 35 years old. Jordan was at the peak of his powers. He had no weakness in his game. At this age, LeBron's gonna get a title, but there's still deficiencies there. But he's still great though. People got anti-LeBron because I guess just because he's kind of put himself in that position by just declaring himself, here, I've arrived, instead of just playing. Like if he's done a lot more winning rather than crowning himself, then I think he wouldn't have so much anti-LeBron going on. Some people want to attribute to his social justice. I don't necessarily think it's that. But I think it's more, for me, it's more about his basketball ability. He should have swept the Heat.
Well, he should have swept the Heat. It's a team game.
Just saying.
It's a team game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even with Jordan didn't win. He didn't beat all those teams by himself. He had teammates that played their roles.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's a team sport, yeah, but I mean, the game they lost, I mean, he had 8 turnovers. I mean, I don't recall, Jordan turning over the ball 8 times in the NBA Finals.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. We just don't remember.
I can nitpick him, but I don't want to do that. LeBron's great. I'm enjoying watching him. There's anti-LeBron stuff out here. I think it's going to continue until he win a few more titles. But yeah, they're going to close the deal. I believe Miami might win Game 5 just to keep it going, but I don't see it going 7, maybe 6 at the most.
Real quick, people were tough on you yesterday after your phone call. Did you see any of those comments?
And you said it. You said it perfectly. I didn't have to even explain myself. When you after you saw him and brought him to the attention, you hit the nail on the head. I kick back and I read them and I just giggle.
Right.
I giggle, because everybody got their perspective. I'm just telling you that's how FOP coming at you. If you want to try to push it down to City Hall, FOP coming at that's the exact argument they're coming at you with. And then you verify that you even read an article from a professor. I didn't even know about the article. I'm trying to find it. That said the exact same thing that I said, and I never even heard of the article till you brought it up.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking out the side of my head. People. I have maybe sometimes dispopular opinions, and guess what? I love it.
All right, brother. Thanks for the call.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah, most definitely. I think I missed a call from somebody. Did you say something?
Nathan Ivey.
Yo.
Yeah. One thing.
Go
Can
ahead.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, there was one thing I forgot to mention. Today they're going to debate about whether they want the streetcar to be free.
Is that right? I didn't know.
Yeah. I just want to bring it to your attention real quick. They're going to have a conversation about whether the streetcar should be free or not. And it is mind-blowing and it's unfair to the bus riders. Like, if you're going to make streetcar free, you might as well make the bus free. I emailed those jokers down there and told them don't even think about making the streetcar free. Now, we'll see if they listen to me. Probably not. The majority won't, but that's bad policy. Like, you're rewarding 10 people who ride the streetcar every day when you got probably thousands of people who ride the bus every day and they got to pay their fair share.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the right perspective. Okay.
I think it's classism, but, what's new in Cincinnati?
Classism is not new to Cincinnati. You're right about that. Thanks for the call.
All right, take it easy.
Appreciate it. You said that they're going to debate as to whether the streetcar should be free. Black Russia says it's classism because what about the bus riders? We just had Trace from Cincinnati. Tracy, I missed your call. Call me right back. I'll put you straight on. Appreciate the calls. Again, your opinions add texture. That's valuable on this show. Your opinion is the currency of the show. We can always agree to disagree without getting disrespectful. We can go hard. And I've gone back and forth. We can go back and forth with it. We ain't got to be disrespectful and disagreeable per se. We can just walk away still cool. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan. It's Tracy. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning to you.
Hold on. Let me take my mask off. Sorry. I just kind of wanted to piggyback on what Black Russia said because I dropped our ballots off at the Board of Elections this morning. And hey, Robert. And what it is if you know where the drop box is in the front of the building, and if you're in that little circle where you drop your ballots in the drop box and you come out and you make that right, that will let you back out onto the main street. Back there was where the back of the line started, and it was a long line. But so you won't see anybody in the front of the building, like you said. But if you make that right and you go around to the back of the building, they're all back there in line. And the line was long. I mean, I guess, he's in line. He said it's going fast. But I was there at 8 o'clock this morning, and the line was already down the block. So it looks like people are coming out in droves, which is great. It's amazing. Because we won't have to worry about people waiting until the last minute. I'm sure there will be some last minute stragglers, but it looks like everybody's getting out early. So I was excited about that this morning when I dropped our ballots off.
Okay. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. And has Andy Black backed away from his comments? Is he issued a statement saying, listen, I don't want to be connected with these subtly racist comments or flyers or at all, or is he doubling down on it?
I don't think that he would even want to do that, and because he already has the endorsement of the Republican Party. I mean, he's just not going to do it. I mean, they all think the same. You talk about a monolith. They think the same. They're talking the same. He's not going to back down from it. I mean, he is who he is. He's Indian Hill Andy, and that's how he thinks. So, let him stand on that. But at the end of the day, we know experience matters, and his resume can't match hers. So it is what it is.
Well said. Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Bye. Indian Hill Andy. That was hilarious. I remember Alicia Reese said, she's like, we don't even know who Indian Hill Andy is. That was hilarious. Indian Hill Andy. It must be nice. Have you been through Indian Hill? It's nice up there. People doing horseback. It's a whole different reality over there in Indian Hill. Yes, one of the wealthiest zip codes in the state of Ohio. Pamela writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. What time is the watch party tonight? We'll kick it off at probably 10 minutes till. Probably about 10 minutes till, at the latest 5 minutes till. So that's 8:50 to 8:55 p.m. later on tonight. It'll be on Facebook. And you can join the Black VP debate watch party tonight, and we'll chop it up. We'll see what they have to say. Brenda writes, happy Wednesday. NBA writes, good morning, Choppers. Now that the weather is getting cooler, we need to protect Black women's ankles. Don't get ashy now. You are immersed. Hashtag alt middle. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Cassandra writes, hey, Choppers. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag team and I. Thank you, Jared. Cam writes, top of the AM, Nathan in the Chop Shop. Mason Marler writes, morning, Nate in the Choppers. Hashtag flows rated E for everybody. Hashtag stand back and stand by for flows. Hashtag Kamala Hot Sauce Harris versus chalkboard off-white Mike Pence. Brother Mazone writes, good morning. Chalkboard off-white Pence. That's what Brother Mazone just said with a laughing emoji. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. Mike Jones writes, good morning, Choppers. Ray writes, grand risings all. Hey, good to see you, Ray. You know what? Man, listen, when all this stuff ends, we're going to have a little chopper get together. We got to. Now, I don't do wings anymore unless it's some vegan wings, like some cauliflower wings, some barbecue cauliflower. I'll smash me some barbecue cauliflower wings. I don't do wings anymore, and I don't drink. But I will certainly pay out of my pockets for you folks so we can get together and reconnect. If and when COVID-19 ever dies away. I don't know. It's not going to happen under the Trump administration because he just mismanages these kind of things, and it just makes it get worse. That's it. Trump tweeted 67 times yesterday, including tweeting and stopping the coronavirus stimulus talks until after the election. He is such a piece of, and then there's a piece of feces emoji. Yeah. Cassandra writes, I can't hear it. I think she's speaking of the video that I played. May writes, backwater bubbas. I'll work on that. TNT writes, good morning. He already backed and tracked on the stem check part, Nate. Yes, he did. Where is drop the spin this? Daryl writes, he's transactional as hell. Woody writes, those roids they gave Don the Con, Putin's useful idiot, has dumped even more moronic as usual. Damn. Hard. Y'all going hard at the man. Crystal, he just had COVID. Crystal writes, good morning, N.I. and the Choppers. Andrielle writes, good morning, Nate. Hey, good to see you. Everybody looking fantastic this morning. Beautiful, beautiful people. Anthony writes, unless the reasoning is if you put me back in, you got guaranteed money coming. Maybe that was his message to his people. It just goes to show how transactional he really is. Jasmine writes, hashtag buy Don. Anthony writes, I voted all dim except two. Really? Which two? I'm just curious. You ain't got to tell us. TNT writes, drain the swamp. Dale writes, who's running against Shabbat? Well, actually, the Cincinnati Enquirer is going to do a debate. Going to be Shabbat versus, I believe it's Kate Schroeder. Kate Schroeder is a white female. We talked with her, was it last year? Or it was early this year? We talked with her during the primary. We talked with her. And from everything I'm seeing, you know, she's giving him the business. And the thing about her that is different from some of the challengers, I believe, is that she was born and raised on the West Side, I believe. You know, brought up in the so-called first district. So maybe that gives her a different viewpoint. Or maybe that gives the people who are voting a different lens to view her. You know, I'll be honest with you. From what I know about the two, it ain't even close. It's not even close. Like, these races to me aren't even close in terms of who I believe will represent for the people. Ain't even close. Now, I'm not saying that Kay Schroeder is perfect, because I remember our conversation. There were some things in what she had to say that were concerning, put it that way. But compared to Steve Shabbat, it ain't even close, in my humble opinion. But you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even close. Woody writes, I think I read that already. I read that. Catching up now. KR writes, I've seen Dieters prosecute a DV case harder than he did Tensing. Right. Dieters went harder at the brother that said after coronavirus than he did at the white male that shot a brother in the head at point blank range. On top of everything else, when the rubber meets the road, Dieters is incompetent. On top of everything else, he's incompetent. We could have got two first-year law students from Chase over at UC to do a better job than he and his staff did, including putting a hostile witness on the stand who basically said some stuff that hurt the case of the prosecution, and you put them on the stand. You know, I heard Dieters down there fumbling around, dropping papers. Oh, this is Dieters in court, dropping papers. Oh, oops, my bad. You didn't have the county prosecutor. The only thing Joe Dieters is good for is giving drug forfeiture money, dope money, blood money from black neighborhoods to his white friends, to his buddies to do IT work so he can buy, you know, expensive leather briefcases, and over prosecuting black people. That's the only thing he's good at. Other than that, in trying to play the fear-mongering role and looking tough and talking tough in press conferences. That's the only thing he's good at. When we needed him to bring justice for Sam DuBose, this is what he was doing. Dropping papers in court. His prosecutors were down there again, putting a hostile. How do you, as the prosecution in a case so important, put a witness on the stand that hurts the case of the prosecution, and you put him on the stand? He's incompetent on top of everything else. I've even heard some other rumors that I can't corroborate, so I won't get into it, but I'm just saying. So on top of everything else, he's incompetent. Joe Dieters done nothing but lock up a lot of black mans, but he loves to do. Again, the best thing, like I said, they couldn't find a man guilty who murdered another man on videotape and lied about it, and his lies contradicted the tape. They even brought a forensic expert in who testified that Ray Tensing was lying. And what did Joe Dieters do? Did he re-prosecute? Did he say, you know what, this is the right thing to do? We're going to go to the ends of the earth. No, he said, you know what? We tried 2 times. I don't think we're going to be able to get a jury that's going to convict a police officer. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? If you were to reverse that and Sam DuBose had killed Ray Tensing, man, Joe Dieters would have gone to trial from now until the end of time, just because it was the right thing to do. Meanwhile, if you say F the coronavirus, and Mike DeWine is a white cracker, Joe Dieters wants to charge you with a felony. That's what he did. That's what he did. If you're a white female and you, oops, my bad, forget your kid in a hot car, your newborn child, and the newborn dies a grisly, horrible death, no charges. If you're a black female and you run into Walmart and leave your kids in the car for 15 minutes, charges. If you're a Hamilton County Sheriff deputy and you're trying to subdue a suspect down at the JC and you are surrounded by 3 or 4 other sheriff deputies and the other sheriff deputies manage to subdue this guy, this inmate, put his hands behind his back, he's on his belly on the ground, and then that inmate bites your work boot and a sheriff deputy kicks him in the head, you get charged with misdemeanors. If you're a protester and you spit your gun at a police officer, they want to charge you with a felony. Where's the justice? These are all facts. Facts on facts on facts on facts. This is what we've been dealing with in Hamilton County. But Joe Dieters says that if Fanon Rucker wins, he's going to destroy Hamilton County. How's he going to do that, Joe? Like, destroy, or just like, this is some BS you trying to say because you desperate and paranoid because Trump's at the top of the ticket. You know, what the hell? What does that even mean? How can one man destroy? If anybody destroyed Hamilton County, it's the people that negotiated that horrible bingo deal. If anybody destroyed Hamilton County, but they all got golden parachutes. They all got loftier positions right now. Like, I don't know, chairman of FCC, FC Cincinnati. Facts on facts on facts on facts this morning. I'm just saying, he's going to destroy Hamilton County. I saw that yesterday. Like, are you kidding me? So if you're a sheriff deputy and you try to kick the teeth out the backside of an inmate's mouth because they bit your work boot, which they're hard, you can't, no human being is going to bite through that. But you get all caught up in your privilege. You're mad now. How dare you bite my work boot? And you kick a man whose arms are behind his back. He's completely subdued. The only thing he can do is move his mouth. They want to hit you with the soft gloves. But if you spit your gum as a protester at a police officer, all of a sudden, we're going to show you. Oh, we're going to show you. Joe Dieters thinks he's tough because he can make the decision to execute the death penalty, to go after death penalty calls. That's what he thinks. He thinks that makes him tough on crime. That makes you weak, in my opinion, Joe Dieters. That makes you very weak. Oh, we going for the death penalty. We serious. Get out of here, Buster. Get out of here, man. I hope that more people feel the way on that I do. I do, because we need better. We need much better. David Rice drop is correct. Most hated. Well deserved. He's not the most hated. Nobody really hates him. We just disagree with him strongly on some levels, but nobody hates Drop. Drop is always welcome. Philosophy Rice, I will never forget. I was in a bar in cold rain, and an older man told me that Ray wasn't going to do a day because Ray Tensing's father and Joe Dieters went to Finneytown Elementary School together, and that I need to listen to him so I'm not so heartbroken when there's no conviction, and so it happened. Yeah, I wasn't surprised because Joe Dieters was the wrong man at the wrong time. I mean, the fix was in with the charges, with the sentencing. They may have overcharged Ray Tensing. But again, if you remember, you had the family members and at least one black preacher running around here like, we got to go for first-degree murder. Like, when legal minds were saying that might not be the smartest if you're really trying to get a conviction. So that's where the fix is in a lot of these cases. The prosecutors understand the threshold and the difficulty of proving the guilt depending on the charge. So they'll purposely overcharge knowing there's a good chance that the officer will beat it, when it goes to court. We know what the game is. They do this all over the country. We hip to the game. And that's what Joe Dieters did, in my opinion, here. And the family and black preachers gave them some cover on that. That's the truth. I mean, I think people were well-intentioned, but you got to understand this is chess, not checkers. And I got a chance to see a little bit of that Pac-Man Jones ad for Joe Dieters. I mean, Pac-Man Jones needs to have his ass whooped for that. I'm not going to do it. Now, I have to add this caveat. I know for a fact that Pac-Man Jones works with these little league football teams and has spent his time and money and, working with these young people. And I respect that, Pac-Man Jones. I really do. I always liked Pac-Man Jones as a player. I thought he had crazy heart. He had crazy skills. And, he was his own man. I like that. But you don't get no pass, Pac-Man Jones. You out here stumping for Dieters in the age of Trump? So clearly, Pac-Man Jones is a low information voter, or he's a low information participant in these videos. He must not have a lot of information, because he seems like a very smart, intelligent brother to me with heart. That's how I always perceived Pac-Man Jones. He was a smart black man who had heart. So when he pops up here, in this ad for Joe Dieters, I'm thinking, like I said before, he didn't found him another one. Joe Dieters is good at digging up some black dude that got in trouble. And then Joe Dieters probably, went a little light on him. And so now they're forever indebted to Daddy. Because Daddy came through for him. Ken Lawson, Pac-Man Jones. Ken Lawson and Pac-Man Jones. I'll say it again. I got a long memory. And it's so ironic because it's the same candidate. You go back 14, 15 years ago, it was Ken Lawson was the black dude running around here saying, vote for Joe Dieters. Friend of the community. You flash forward, now it's Pac-Man Jones. But again, what I think is because they both have some issues with the law. And I guess Joe did him a solid and went soft on him. And so they forever indebted to Zaddy. I guess that's how it works. Woody writes, why this Negro still loves the massa? I don't know. Again, I don't think it has anything to do with Trump per se. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if Trump loses. I'll be interested to see what Drop says. It'd be interesting to see how he reacts to that. Like, part of me feels like Drop is just going to dissolve into a puddle, right? Just like the Wicked Witch of the East when in the Wizard of Oz, just going to dissolve. I'm melting, right? Just into a puddle. Part of me feels like that's going to happen. But it'll be interesting. I mean, Drop says he's not a Trump supporter. He's a Republican Party supporter. So I guess he's going to roll with the party no matter what. We'll see. Anthony writes, she was finally speaking her piece, point blank, and end of story. She rarely makes speeches. Right. Speaking of the First Lady, I actually have that. Let me see, or I can get it. Get that for us real quick. Yeah, Michelle Obama went hard. She went hard. She went hard on Trump. And I mean, that's her right. I mean, she got a right to speak her mind. That's how she feels about it. That's how she feel about it. I mean, I'm sure Obama's going to turn up here with a video real soon. I mean, that's what they do. Trump should have did better. She says that Trump's campaign is straight up racist. That's what she said. No holding back. Trump's campaign straight up racist, what she said. It's called Michelle Obama's closing argument. I've got a little bit of the audio here. Let me see if I can pull this up in real time. Perhaps we can listen to it as we end the show.
Believe it or not, the election is right around the corner. Votes are already being cast. And if you're still deciding who to vote for or whether to vote at all, I wanted to take a moment to remind you what's at stake and to urge you to make a plan to vote today. Because let's be honest, right now our country is in chaos because of a president who isn't up to the job. And if we want to regain any kind of stability, We've got to ensure that every eligible voter is informed and engaged in this election, because the stakes are on display every day, not just in the headlines, but in our families. If you're a parent like me, you're feeling the consequences of this president's failure to take this pandemic seriously, from his constant downplaying of the importance of masks and social distancing to his relentless pressure on schools to open without offering a clear plan or meaningful support to keep students and teachers safe. Look, our daughters are in college now, and luckily they're taking classes from home this semester. But in just a few weeks since schools have resumed, many of their friends who returned to campus have either tested positive or are living with someone who has. Yes, it's anecdotal, of course, and everybody wants their kids back in school as soon as it's safe. But as a mom, it is frightening thinking about all these young people who were just our babies yesterday, quarantined alone in dorms or apartments with little or no support as the disease continues to spread, unable to come home if their symptoms get worse. Dangerous virus. Today, more Americans have died from this virus than died in the wars in Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, and Korea combined.
Really?
Take all those lives bravely sacrificed and double it. President focuses their time and energy in office is a direct reflection of the life they've lived before entering.
So, I mean, it's 24 minutes long. I'm not going to play all of it, but I wanted to hear a little bit of her voice. In a nutshell, she says that his campaign is racist and that he's incompetent. He wasn't up for the job of president. And who out there really believes that she's wrong? Like, we can go back and forth about the racist part, but who really believes that he was up to the job? I mean, just think about the first year or two where you had like this revolving door of people in his administration in and out. Just think about all the people who were indicted in the Trump administration, and not just indicted, but convicted. This is a man who said that he knows how to choose the best people. Well, when your calculations are based upon loyalty and not resume, how could you possibly do that? Like I tell you, man, if I was one of these cats trying to come up in the world, like one of these Republican cats, Trump is a great willing patsy because I know how to interact with him. All I got to do is tell him what he wants to hear. So all I got to do is give him something. He'll give me something. That's it. Con men love those kind of people. And that's why he was surrounded by nothing but con men. Trump never expected to win. He only wanted to run so it could bolster his public visibility. And then he messed around and won because Hillary Clinton was damn near as unpopular as he was. And she ran a bad campaign. And he messed around and won and wasn't ready for it. I mean, it's the truth. So do what you got to do, family. Do what you got to do. Woody writes, even white women are leaving Donna Khan. I mean, why, if you're a parent, why would you vote for a man that left us out to dry and lied to us about coronavirus? That right there, no matter what you think about the policies or whatever else, that right there is enough. That's enough. That's enough. Oh, I just got a message here. Okay. Yeah, I think so. Good morning. Kamala writes, Kamala will as she should. Good morning. Both sides have agreed to plexiglass now. Is that right? Is that the latest? David writes, why is it so hard to pronounce Kamala's properly and respectfully? I don't know. It's not really. Woody writes, Sister Kamala will boobatize Little Penny. I still say Little Penny, he is in the closet. Little Penny. Brent writes, Drop would much preferred Michelle Obama not to release any speeches so he can get 45 back in because he's a self-loathing man. I don't know if it's because he's self-loathing. It's because Drop is a Republican. He wants the Republicans to win. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. That's how he feels. I ain't mad at him. Janice writes, Trump is in danger in a super spreader of a virus that kills the people. Yes, it is. Hey, listen, folks, please take a second to like and share today's show. Your shares mean everything. Please share this. Even if it's in a space in which, let's say it's in a Facebook group and you've seen other people share it, please share it anyway. If you were inclined to do so, please share it anyway, because it helps to multiply the reach of the show. When you share the show, more people see it. Simple as that. Janice writes, Channel 5 reporter Mike Dardis contracted the COVID after reporting at the first presidential debate. The reason I didn't put any effort in going to the presidential debate, I'm not sure whether I could have got inside or not. I didn't put any effort into it because of COVID-19. And it looks like I was right to do so, because the super spreader was up there spreading COVID around, making jokes about how big Joe Biden's mask is. The world we live in is so crazy. It really is. All right. Want to remind you of two things. If you haven't already done so, if you missed it yesterday, make sure you check out the Midday Juice podcast. Ask Ashley will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you don't know the format of the show, it's quite interesting. Essentially, she takes questions from her audience and she answers them. It's very, very simple. Midday Juice. All right. We're just getting started with the return of Midday Juice. So it's at 1 p.m. Eastern time, Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you missed it, it's up on Sin digital page. And also you can connect with her directly on Facebook at Ask Ashley. And also, if you missed it last night, we had the first valet service podcast. Hold on, let me get that branding off of there so you can see. There it is, with Fast Pitch, our very own Fast Pitch. And she was talking about, why do black women feel unsafe around black men? She made some very interesting points. Now, I must tell you, her guest, Mr. Black Rambo TV, did not show these things are inexplicable. We did get a confirmation from him. And then I'm not sure. I hope he's okay. No, hope he's okay. And we'll reach out to the brother and try to get him back on. And shout out to Fast Pitch. I thought it was a strong start to the show. And should be back on Tuesday at 7 p.m. And then, of course, if you haven't already done so, it's still up. It's still relevant because the election has not happened yet. Of course, on the very last podcast, Is It Just Me podcast, Donnie B spoke with Wendy Cross and Fanon Rucker. And she's been planning on speaking with a lot of the judicial candidates. And I think it's real interesting to hear that perspective because she is a lawyer of many, many years, the former president for the Black Lawyers Association here in Cincinnati. And so what you're going to get is someone who has a unique perspective when it comes to these kind of candidates, far more than myself. So you're going to get a unique perspective, and you can still check that out. And of course, she goes live on Fridays from CDM's Facebook page. That's Sin Digital Media. All right. Appreciate you in advance. Really appreciate everybody being here. Again, thank you for all the likes and shares. It means absolutely everything. I got to make a move here because back to virtual learning with my son. And I got to make sure that he is good. And the wifey is back to work as well after taking a few days off. So I got to make sure that everybody is good. Okay. So have an excellent rest of your day. I really appreciate you. And thank you for being here. I'll say it again. Your shares mean everything. Please like and share today's show. And I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning. Now, I'll be back tomorrow morning to do the show at 7:30. But of course, tonight, and we'll say 10 minutes till 9, we'll be doing the Black VP debate watch party live on Facebook. So we'll watch it together. We can interact, break down what they're saying, figure out who's won, who's compelling, who's not compelling. We'll talk about it all tonight. Late Night Nate, a special edition of the show, Late Night Nate. That's tonight at approximately 8:50 p.m. Of course, the debate is scheduled to kick off at 9 p.m. as I understand it. So have an excellent day, family, and we'll talk real soon.
Jill Schiller has been missing in action, and now we know why. Did you know that Jill Schiller, candidate for Hamilton County Treasurer, got away with a dangerous offense? Her friends and connections at Cincinnati City Hall turned their heads when she was racing through a Cincinnati public school zone doing 52 in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. She could have killed a child. As a mother of 3, that's concerning. 25,000 children are injured each year because of speeding in a school zone. 100 children are killed in school zones each year by people like Schiller. Schiller should have served 5 days in jail as the law states, but being privileged kept her out while you, the public, would have gone to jail. Her friends and connections at City Hall only fined her $60, and they quickly destroyed the evidence the next day. We cannot trust Schiller with our school children. Should we trust her to protect and safeguard our tax dollars? Vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer. We can trust him to safeguard our tax dollars and our children.
Paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
Are you interested in medical coding, but not sure where to start? And scared of wasting time and resources? Let me help you with the right steps to become a certified, marketable medical coder. Learn more at bit.ly/5stepscoder.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
Yeah.